All right, welcome back. Hey, everyone. We are going live again, Women into Networking, when we have Miss Toria Howard, who is one of our members extraordinaire. She's been in our membership for a long time. Just huge supporter, y'all. And so she'll be doing a workshop for us this weekend. We wanted to talk a little bit about that workshop, what she's going to be doing for us, how she's going to be helping us understand our finances. She's also in real estate. I'm going to let her introduce herself because she does it fabulously. I just want to make sure that we, share this live. So if you're listening and you're in an area of your life where you're looking to build on your finances, understand money, make it a lot easier than what you had before, we have Toria here that's going to assist us with doing that. Hey, sis.
Good night, everyone. It is a great night to have a great night. My name is Toria Howard, and yes, I am a part of the magnificent WIN community. Have been here since 2021. Actually, March is like my WINversary. So we gonna mark it as that, my WINversary. I am an educator I will always say by purpose. I'm a real estate agent here in the beautiful city of Detroit, Michigan. I'm a financial literacy educator as well. I wear a lot of different hats, soon to be author, soon to be residential builder as well. So, just got my hands in a little bit of things, but everything is aligning with real estate. So that is what I do. I'm an educator of financial literacy, helping you to understand how you can build your foundation to build your financial house, to buy you that dream house. Look, from the foundation to the dream house, that's what we do. So, hi, David. So, yes.
So that's absolutely amazing. So I want to just applaud you because, yes, you were in the WIN before we were at Chateau on Clubhouse, y'all. We were just like a little raggedy old shack house. And we grew from getting together in a room on Clubhouse. And Toria, you were talking a little bit about that, being bold, showing up for yourself. And you did that. And in the WIN community, you were able to grow and prosper. And I want them to kind of like understand about what you do, because part of our mission is to empower women, right? And men who support them. And I want them to understand, all of the things that you have learned. Like, we talked about this throughout the years because we've known Toria since 2021. Congratulations, sis. We got to give you an award for that. But I want to hear from you. Why do you think it's difficult for people to understand money? Like, what is the deal?
Well, Allegra, like a lot of people, it's a mindset thing. I know that's so cliche. And a lot of people, you hear that like mindset, but it is definitely a mindset because we have a relationship with money. We know how we feel when we have it, and we know how we feel when we don't. So people understanding of it comes from, you have to go and explore your ancestry, right? Where did your money principles come from? How did you grow up? What did you see? Because a lot of times people, as an educator and you being around children mock what you do more than what you tell them to do, right? So you have to understand that where these money principles come from, because you watched your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, uncles, whomever was, older than you, whatever their money habits were, you took on that by action. And if nobody taught you money principles, you kind of stumbled upon certain things along the way. And a lot of people just keep tripping and not learning from their mistakes because they feel like this is what they know. A lot of people like to, are comfortable being uncomfortable because it feels safe to them. This is what they're used to. And they don't know how to get out of something because they don't have the proper education. But that's what I'm here for.
Listen, I know the importance of having someone guide you. Toria, I watched your live the other night. Toria, you've been doing lives forever. I remember in the beginning, you just say, hey, I start off with a smile. That was your key signature, still is. And Toria will tell y'all, she has like information forever. And I think sometimes we live in a world where there's a lot of information. And so you can get really lost in that feeling of like, okay, I just got a lot of stuff to do. But while I was watching your live, like you were giving us like upgrade tips and things that can help you start to build on your home buying, your home selling success, or if you want to rent it out or Airbnb it. And I was at my mom's house before the snowstorm hit, y'all, and we were, talking about that. And my mom was like, "Can you ask Toria if she can find me a place in like Costa Rica or Thailand to move to?" And I asked Toria, like, "Can you help with that?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I think sometimes we have to kind of expand on that, like what that looks like to get support one-on-one. And then also I asked my mom, I was like, would you like to have a strategy behind that? Would you like someone to like build out a plan for you? She was like, oh my God, like that's perfect. Like the finance and the real estate, like just blending together in a plan. So I want to hear from you, like, where do you feel like people are with their needs? Because we know that people feel really weird about money based on their background, based on their experiences.
Yeah.
But right now, like if you were to say people's biggest pain points, what would you say it is?
Having enough money. And I know it firsthand. So a lot of people struggle with how to balance what they already have. And it comes with being in a poverty mindset where we have a worker bee mentality, and we tend to spend everything that we have and live above our means because we want all of the things. I'm a things person. So I'm speaking for myself too. I love, jewelry and the cars and the clothes and the shoes and all of that. You want to look good, but is it good for your wallet? And are you able to afford the lifestyle that you're thinking that you need to live to impress whoever it is that you're trying to impress? And it's a lot of people are having that issue, not managing their funds correctly. There are ways for you to still be able to invest and save and do all those things right where you are. That's why it's called a starter home. That's why it's called, starting investing. That's why it's called, starting from somewhere. So, you have to meet yourself where you are and not try to skip steps to get to where you think you should be or where you see other people. And that's a lot of times what people do. They want to skip steps, but you have to start where you are. And that is looking at your personal finances and understanding where that is and what you need to do, either cut back, or people don't like that cut back word, but how many times a week are you eating out? How much are you paying attention to the things that's coming out of your account, like your subscriptions and all of that? Do you know where that money is going? A lot of times we know where the money is when it's coming in, but a lot of times we don't know how much is going out. Back in the day, our grandparents and our parents and stuff like that used to have checkbooks, so you let know when your paycheck came in, how much it was, and you were writing it down. A lot of people not doing that because we're swiping, everything is automatic, and we're not paying attention to it. So I think a pain point is not just having enough at this point, and I've had to go on a journey of how to create based on what I have right in front of me. One of the things is I'm a very spiritual person. I'm a very God-driven person. Is that I always ask God, what do I have that I possess, that I can sell or do, or that I can make money for myself? Or the prayer of, Lord, open my eyes to the things that I cannot see that's right in front of me and seizing every opportunity. So a lot of times we forget about that. Look, even somebody else said I'm a things person. David said that, fine wines, nice clothes, good and healthy food. Listen, especially if you want to be healthy, you got to spend money on, being healthy. So, it's just not having enough right now. And then I would say number 2 is basically, knowing how to make your money move for you and how to use credit properly. We have a lot of people in our communities are still thinking like credit is a bad thing, or wealth is a bad thing. Like wealth is evil, money is evil, and all these different things. And until you understand how yours work, you won't understand how it works in the real world, because we live in a capitalistic society. Unfortunately, money rules our world, and we got to learn how to play the game.
I love everything you said. There's so much to break down there, and I know that that's why people need to, go ahead and register for the workshop. We're going to give you guys the link to get into the workshop. It's complimentary for all the WIN members. If you're not a WIN member, you can go ahead and donate $15 to make sure that we keep this mission going. We want people like Toria to get that exposure into the atmosphere so that they can understand money can be easy. I understand exactly what you're saying when it comes down to emotions around money. But I had to learn myself, Toria, that money is a tool and that how I use it actually reflects who I am, right? It's not the other way around.
Yes.
Money doesn't have its own personality, doesn't have legs and arms and walks around and tells you what to do, right? So I love the fact that when you're guiding people, you're giving them real instruction and clarity around what it is that they need to do. So what is like the first thing that you would tell someone to do to alleviate that pain point, like they don't have enough to do whatever it is that they need to do, like move out of the country, get a new place out and just disappear? Like what about that pain point that it can do right now to start alleviating it?
People don't like to hear it, but it's the big bad B. It's that budget. So a lot of people don't like the word budget because it feels like they are restricting themselves, but it's actually a snapshot of what your financial makeup looks like. You have to see it. People forget we're visual, right? Everybody is visual, regardless of the fact, you have different learning modalities. I'm actually all of them. I can learn all different types of ways, but most likely people are geared to learning from what they see and what they hear. And if you're not seeing where your money is going, you are going to always be in the rut of not having enough. If you're not understanding what you have at the end, if you're not paying, people say paying yourself meaning that you have enough for the essentials that you need in order to make your money move. I had to be disciplined to the point where when I was buying my home back in 2010, I started in 2009. I started getting my savings directly deposited into an account that I couldn't touch because the bank closed before I got off work. It came directly out of my account. I didn't have a card for it. So I had to do that for me because I needed to be disciplined. So you need to understand what it is that's going to make you more disciplined, because the biggest key thing that adults tend to stray away from is being disciplined. We think that discipline is only for children. Discipline is so much more key when it is as an adult than it is as a child, because of the fact we have so many different things that we can put our hands on, so much access to different things that we want and we want to grab and we want to have, that you have to have discipline, especially if you have a goal, in order for you to be able to get everything that you want. So the main thing is budgeting. We know what's coming in, but do you know what's going out? Do you know, everybody know how much the rent costs? It come out the first of the month. You know that. Your phone bill usually. Your utilities. Sometimes they rob you a little bit, but you got to pay that. You have to pay your car note, car insurance. Some people got car insurance, some people not. Whatever the case may be, but those main bills you already know that you have. But do you know how your subscriptions, your kids buying the Robux, the blocks, or whatever they call, the Netflix, the Paramount, we got to pay for every single thing we watch. Are you paying attention to the fact that, you got to pay for your kids are a bill. So you got to pay for your children activities. You got to pay for their lunches sometimes. You got to pay for the daycare. You have to pay for, different ancillary things that they need or whatever the case may be. Do you have a clothing budget? Is it a monthly thing? And if you have children, do they have a clothing budget? You get your hair done. You get your nails done. People don't even have a budget when they go out to eat. Oh, we love that Sunday brunch, don't we? We love to go out and do those things. But when we swiping that card at $150 for one person, don't tell me that unlimited mimosa is not bothering your budget. So, we tend to, as human beings. We're hedonists. We love to feel good. We do the things that make us feel good. We buy the things that make us feel good. But is it really good for you? So looking at that budget is the first and foremost thing. And I'm not telling you to restrict yourself, but the temporary sacrifice for that long-term goal to be able to get to live the life of your dreams is what people got to understand. It's just a temporary stoppage. Don't go to brunch every weekend. Don't eat out 5 times a week. There's too many chefs on YouTube, too many recipes, too many things. You can learn how to cook something. Okay? So it's not an excuse anymore. Like, I don't know how to cook. You don't have to learn. You don't even know how to read to know how to cook something. So, you have to be able to understand that doing the temporary sacrifices to live the life of your dreams is what you have to do. And where you have to do it is starting to budget and looking at it and visualizing, however that is. Write it down, looking at an app, whatever it is that's convenient for you.
I think that's great advice because honestly, y'all, I did start with budgeting several times. And each time I had different experiences. They were all very scary. Okay. Like just looking at these numbers of that I had responsibility for, like I spent that money. I made that decision. I let them take that money out my account. Y'all, those subscriptions would be they be popping. And so when you talk about emotion, I think that's what really comes up for me in all of it. Like, how do we feel about ourselves, about how we think about money? I felt guilty that I didn't know a lot about money. So it was really easy for me to fall into the trap of, well, nobody taught me. So, and one of the things that I had to get to understand is that I'm in control of everything that happens because I made the choice to do what I did that actually created the results, right? So when I started to look at things like how you're saying the budget, I had to get assistance. I couldn't do it by myself. And this is why I want to get deeper into this, because as we do the workshop this weekend for our community, for our members, y'all, we have to start just starting with some level of guidance, whether it is a workshop or it is something, but it has to be, I believe, in a room or an area of a support system. Because I can't tell y'all, like Toria, I dipped out on my own self so many times in the past because I knew I had to do a budget. But once I looked at that sheet and once I started to put those things together, it became harder, right? Like I started beating myself up. So what kind of things can you say for that ease of mind for people? Because there are a lot of emotions involved there. And I went with a, financial planner, a finance success, because like I've worked with people throughout time at my bank and through programs, and even on my own, right? Just to see like where they can advise me in wealth. Do you do that? Like, if they come to the workshop and they're like, okay, I really need to figure this out. Like, do people get the best benefit working with someone? Is that something that you find, or do people run into a lot of success just doing the work?
Well, it all depends on where you are as far as your mindset and what you feel like you need, because as an educator, I know for certain, because I deal with certain different personalities on a regular basis, I understand I have students that I can just give instructions to and they take and they run with it. Some of them going to need it 3 and 4 times. Some of them are going to need it 10 times. Some of them are going to need me to sit down next to them and pinpoint every single thing. So it just all depends on what level of thinking, what level of discipline, and what you feel like you need most. A lot of people, they need accountability partners or somebody that will hold them accountable for certain things and give them, checks and balances, because they can't do it on their own. But if you're that person that, like for me, when I'm right, when you if you know that about yourself, you do that. But if for me, I'm the type of person that locks in. You can tell it to me and I'm running, but everybody is not like me. And I have to realize that but I realize that by looking at my students, because all my students are not the same. I got some that's going to hone in and lock in. I got some that's going to be like, okay, I need just a little bit more help. And then I got it. Then I got those ones that say, I can't do it without you. So I deal with people on those different levels all the time. Some people resist it. I have a client who I signed her up for my services, and I talked to her one time. I haven't talked to her again, but she said she wanted me to hold her accountable and be there for her, and she won't reach out. She still got the services though, but I don't know what's going on with her. So, it's just like, you just have to meet people where they are. And I think God put me in a position of being an educator and working with different personalities, because as adults, we are still those same children in that classroom that either needs certain things, like you said, you needed it, right? I'm the type of person, I'm going to learn it, I'm going to eat it, I'm going to digest it, and I'm going to go, Everybody not like that. So
Yeah.
you have to, I'm the type of person that will hold your hand if you need to, or just give you the information and let you go. It's up to you.
I love that. I love the different levels of learning, because we are in a world where, honestly, I just had this conversation with my mother too. Like, why do we have so many adults with like autism and ADD right now? It's like, why does everybody have these brains? And, I think we just, in the education system, maybe we neglected being able to understand that, right? Like how we learn and how our brains work. And I think that as adults, we have to like take a chance on ourselves, like you said, figure out how we learn. And I personally had to go through some errors on trying to do it myself, and then giving up, because the truth is that I got in my own way. Okay. Like I was the problem and the solution. So I just figured, if I just take myself out of this and let someone else just guide me, and I do what they tell me to do, I will at least give myself some time to think, process, understand, and not be so in my emotions. I love everything you said with the kids too, because we are just kids at heart, right? And sometimes we're stuck at the age that we had something happen to us. Like I told y'all, and Toria knows this because she's a member in the community, and some of my members know, but I'm going back to school because I need to like study like the mind and what we're experiencing. And I'm realizing that, there are just some people that need to be guided, to your point, so heavily, because maybe they got stuck at 15 and never was taught about money, and never, their parents didn't know how to manage money. Or even me and my mother today, we do money planning together, because we're like, okay, what are you doing with your money? And because we're teaching each other at our big age now. So I want to hear a little bit about your challenges, because you have story too. And I know you're going to be sharing a little bit of that in the workshop, hopefully. What kind of challenges did you experience that you feel like we could learn from?
Child, I got a story. Want to hear? Here we go. I have so many different stories. Okay, I'll tell one. The one I like to share the most is how I got to becoming on this financial literacy education journey. I always knew being an educator was always in me. So that was always something. As a child, I never let nobody copy off my paper, but I teach you how to do it. So that's just how I always was. So I had bought a home. I had did all the things. I had cleaned up my credit myself before, like in 2009. I had worked on my credit, got it up to the 700s. I bought a home, my first home, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathroom home in Memphis. And I backslid. About time 2019 came, your girl was back in those 500s. She had slid down that razor blade slide into the alcohol river, okay? So at that time, I had filed bankruptcy twice. And I was off work with my daughter. And at that time, I was building a real estate business with my friend. and we both had bad credit. I had a 567 credit score. She didn't even have a job, and she was a stay-at-home mom, and she was in the 500s as well. I was a teacher, and I had so much debt on me, and with the bankruptcies, I got the bankruptcies, cleared it, went back and did it again, and messed up my credit again, and I didn't understand how important it was until my heart got broken. Some people got to have that pain point when your heart gets broken to the point where you can't do something either for yourself or somebody else to understand that you need to change. And what happened with me is I found a wonderful deal. You know, I had worked hard. I learned how to build my business. I did all the stuff. I went to real estate school. I got my real estate license. You know, I learned how to do the LLC. I did my LLC by myself. I never paid anybody to do an LLC. Never. I did it from scratch all the time, every single time. So I built the LLC. I got the business up and going. I got the website going, spent money here and there, but I forgot to get a mentor. So that was one problem. The second thing is my credit was so bad. I found a deal where I was going to be able to buy 3 houses for $100,000 each. This is when COVID just hit. The houses were 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and $100,000 each, $300,000. Now, $300,000 is a lot of money, but not in real estate. So I was excited, and the seller really liked us. He wanted to help us, but he wasn't doing seller financing. I tried to go get financing, and guess what? The door just kept getting slammed. That 567 just kept haunting me. And I finally found a hard money lender, was like, yeah, this is a good deal. We can do it for you. So we like, yes, let's do it. And he was like, oh, but you need 40% down. Oh, of the 300,000? Oh, yeah. So I was a teacher, and then my friend was a stay-at-home mom. We didn't have that. So yeah, that broke my heart, not being able to build my business in a way that I saw fit, that would have catapulted my real estate business too. Like, I don't know what it would have been like if I had the financial literacy that I had. And the thing is that made me so upset with myself was that I had so much money that had fell through my hands that I just mismanaged, that I could have had that money and beyond. Those of you that got those 5-figure refund checks from college, instead of spending it, you need to invest it, flip that money. I wish I would have learned that when I was getting 8 of mine. I got 8 of them, and I could have flipped all 8 of those checks if I know what I know now. But it took me to a pain point where I was saying, you know what? I cannot do this anymore to myself. It was so many times I had to continuously fix my credit, and I was like, I can't keep doing this to myself no more. So I decided at that point to get some help. So I decided to get my credit fixed with a company called United Credit Education Services. And I became an agent with the company because of the fact that when I became a real estate agent, everybody that was on my phone was like, I want to buy a house, but my credit is bad. And I'm an empathetic person. So I wanted to learn how to help them. So I just dived in full force on learning financial literacy. And it helped me. It helped other people. I've helped other people buy homes and things of that nature. But sometimes it just takes that heartbreak to break you. So like that story about Jacob in the Bible, you got to break it. You got to break that hip. Sometimes God got to bring you down to your knees and cut you off for you to understand, like, I got to do something different. And that's just what it was for me.
Man, like, so listen, I'm going to ask you what lessons you learned from those challenges, because you're right. Like, it will break you down to the knee buckle. Okay. Like, I think when we talk about all of these challenges that you experience, you know, we actually make money harder than it is. Like, you know, you were giving us some really strategic measures that never changes, like budgeting, you know, looking at the money you spend. If you don't see it, it's gonna do its thing, right?
Right.
So I want to ask you, like, what kind of things can you say, like, you really pulled out of those challenges? Like, LaShawn West, our corporate sponsor, she calls it our lows, our learning opportunities. Okay. What would you say you was a big learning opportunity for you?
My big learning opportunity was that you don't know what you don't know because you're not connected with the right people. I was not correct. I was not led by the right people. I didn't have the right people in my circle. I didn't have people around me who knew financial literacy. Now I go and eat education all day long. I can go find out facts. That's not a problem. I can go read a book and whatever. But I didn't know. That's just theory. I didn't have nobody doing it in practice. So getting a mentor was key. When I got that $10,000, when I drew down my retirement, my investment should have been with a mentor. My greatest, I don't like to say regret, but just looking back on it, I should have spent that money because I had probably about 40 to 50 G's at one time. And I should have took that money and did the right proper research and found a mentor. And a lot of people don't like to pay people that money, right? That's a pain point for people. They don't like to pay people. But think about how far you would be if you take that. It's like those of you that go to church and you tithe or whatever, but you're not a good steward of your money. If you go and invest in something and you're not a good steward of that investment, it's the same thing. Investing in people that you feel like and they have to prove it to you. Let them show you the facts that they're doing it. Of course, do your due diligence. Don't just go with anybody. But I would say my biggest lesson that I learned was not getting a mentor when I had the money for it. And when I lost all the money, then I was like, I need a mentor. And I didn't have the money to pay for him at that point. So I had to go out there and struggle through it and learn and kept tripping. And I'm not perfect by any means. I still struggle with being a spender to this day. It's just in me. So it's not going to change overnight. And I've been on this journey for 5 years now. And I'm still learning different things that I need to do about learning from myself. How to become a better me financially, but having that mentor is key. But connecting with you all was the first thing because I didn't have no money to pay. So connecting with you, that network is your net worth. It's not just a cliche statement. That is so true because I learned so much from being in that community, the community with you, the community with Uncle Don and Uncle Don University and Los and the Mortgage Syndicate. Being on Clubhouse did a lot for me. Connecting with different people that were actually doing these things that I wanted to do. So that was the biggest thing. So when I messed up the money, I wasn't able to get the mentor, making the connections, meeting you and the WIN community, all the people that I've had a chance to connect with, like David, you, Charlene, and everybody that has come in and through there, has taught me a lot. So just having that mentor, connecting with the right people that are actually doing the work that you are doing and being where you were, but now they're successful because they're actually doing it in practice and not in theory, is the biggest lesson that I learned.
That's a huge lesson. It's important too. So, we're going to start toning down this live stream. We wanted to give y'all a little taste of what Toria is going to talk about this weekend. Saturday is her debut. She's going to be teaching us how to make money easier. And we just discovered that we make it harder than it really is. So using some of these tools and reminders too, because I told Toria I was reminded about writing a budget for years. And then I would just start and stop because the emotions came up. And I needed guidance. I needed mentorship. Shout out to Miss Ernest Cummings, our mentor here in the WIN community and corporate sponsor. When you have guidance and you have support and you have network, like you said, money does become easier because you're no longer looking for all this money to spend. You're like, okay, I'm connected to these people. How can we make a trade of something else? I'll spend time you ran rooms for us when we started out. And if y'all don't know, go back to the replays on Clubhouse because that was our party place. When we started networking, we made it fun. Networking is fun, but sometimes we don't look at it like that. And I think it's the same way with money. You can make it what it is. Momo, our Win Brand photographer, calls it happy money. So I want, to really like think about that, y'all, because Toria, you started out and, you came to the rooms and you showed up, you pulled up. She used to literally run our rooms and we used to dance to music in the mornings. I remember that, right? Like mornings and afternoons. So really honestly listen to what Toria is saying, because she's been on this journey and she's made money easy. She's made it so that you don't have to sit there and have, $50,000 to, help get you to the next level. If you're connected to the right people, you'll get the right resources, and the money is just another tool. Did you want to comment on that? Because you were like leaning forward a couple of times. I was like, okay, like I don't know if I said something that hit it there.
No. I was just commenting on some things that was people were saying on my IG. But I mean, look, when I first came into that Win room, my knees were knocking. Even over the phone, I was just like, the teeth chattering, knees knocking. I was nervous because I didn't know what to do, what to expect. And I didn't think nobody was going to accept me because nobody knew me. It's kind of like being the new kid in school, and you go and sit down at the desk and everybody's looking at you. That's how, and then you turn that mic on and it's like everybody's listening to me. You can't see me, but you can listen to me. So your room, that networking room, was one of the first rooms I ever been in, and I got on stage. That was like my first time ever getting on stage, getting in that Win networking room. And if you go from being embarrassed and being all over the place and trying to figure out my business and all of that, to hosting rooms, to now having so much clarity because I connected with the right people, the right communities, the right mentors, has been phenomenal for me. And also gaining the clarity of being disciplined and obedient to God, and diving deep into that and what it looks like for me. I've been on that journey since 2022, figuring that part out. Because yes, I was starting out as an entrepreneur and I was all over the place. But the reason why I was all over the place, because I was out of alignment with God. And I wasn't listening. I couldn't hear his voice because I was clouded by my own smart self, because I'm so smart and I'm genius and I'm an educator and I know all the things. But in all actuality, I was so lost when I used to come into those rooms, and I was going through a lot, personally, business-wise. I just felt like a failure. And when I was able to host those rooms and do those things with you all, it just changed my whole perspective. It just gave me a new life, and it made me, dig deep. Like, the book, The Mountain Is You. I would have never known about that book if I never came into that room. And you all introducing that book in that room. And I read it like 2 or 3 times, maybe even 4, because I was going through those things. I was like, she's talking about me. She's talking about me, she was hitting me. So it was like, doing all of that has not only helped me in business, but it's made me the person that I'm supposed to be for this season, because I wasn't ready then. And I understand that now. So now I can let it go. I've been diving deep into Myron Golden. If anybody ever follows him and listens to him, it's like he always says, you are not successful right now. It's not happening for you right now because you're not the person you are supposed to be. Let the work on you. And that's what I wasn't doing, because I've always been able to catapult myself into success. Everything that I touched, like, as an athlete, I finished degree programs before anybody. I did a 4-year program and I did it in a year. Like, all these different types of things I was able to do. But being an entrepreneur has not been that easy. It's not. So I had to take a step back and, the spiritual journey I'm on right now. I can say it, because it's almost over and there's nothing stopping me at this point. We on day 17. I'm doing this 21-day fast, and so much revelation has come about during this time. And I was supposed to do it last year, but guess what? I wasn't disciplined and obedient enough to do it. And remember, I told y'all back in 2022, I said discipline and obedience is what's been, and I've been working on that. But 2025 is the only time I actually acted on it. Isn't that crazy? 3 years. It took me 3 years. So
it's like
sometimes
that.
it takes a little time. So don't beat yourself up. Release the pressure to perform.
There you go. Toria, Nysa says she remembers your rooms too. I think we all remember your rooms, and it's so interesting to hear just, from a level of just your side, because you've been doing what you do for a long time. So we're going into a workshop with your expertise, but you as a person, where you were nervous in rooms where you felt like, do I show up? And that's a story I hear from so many people, like, because anything new is going to be challenging, and you're going to want to protect yourself from anything that feels dangerous, right? Like showing up in a full crowded room of people that are listening to you. And to your point, though, when you showed up, I think I really enjoyed your rooms. I don't know how Nysa felt. He said, yes, release it. I don't know how Nysa felt. I don't know how other people felt, but I really enjoyed your rooms. And when I missed it, like if I missed her room, y'all, I would kick myself in the butt because I'd be like, dang, like my day's going to be different. So, being able to bet on yourself was, I think a huge part of your success. The community was definitely built on the notion that we had a lot of women that just needed a safe place, right? Safe space to grow and to figure it out like you did. But I want to honor you for doing that, because now, y'all, listen, we have so much Toria content in the community. When we get the app, I'm like, Toria's going to have her own space on the app because she's done so much for us. Let's just start wrapping it up. It's hard to say goodbye, but we want you guys to, first of all, make sure you follow Toria. I'm going to let Toria give you her tags. And also, this weekend, and as we do the workshop, Toria's going to be presenting for us. Make sure you go to this link. It'll be in the comments, and you can register for the workshop. It's complimentary for WIN members. And if you want to register. Just start with membership, start with membership, get into the community and get in there. If you just want to donate and support us just one time, it's a $15 donation, and it goes towards our mission to support, all the women. Because listen, y'all, you can hear this conversation. We have challenges, and a lot of everything really does fall on the woman. We'll talk about that in another live stream, but let's just talk about money today. Toria, tone it down for us. How can we reach out to you?
So you can reach out to me I'm everywhere. Even if you Google my name, you're going to find me. But I'm on Facebook. It's Toria. It's all my names. Toria D. Burton Howard is on there. My Facebook is. My Instagram is Queen Coach T. But I also go by the moniker of RE with T. That's my YouTube channel. That's my business IG and Facebook page. That's also on my LinkedIn as well. So I'm everywhere. You can. My TikTok. My TikTok is RE with T. RE with T. That's TEE. So you can find me on everywhere, every type of way. So I mainly do I focus on my Facebook and my IG, but like I said, I'm on Snap. You can find me on the Snap. You can find me like I said on my TikTok. I got a lot of content. A lot of content. I hate the fact that IG stopped letting me, because I used to categorize my lives, because I've been going live since 2021. And yeah, nothing's going viral yet. So, but listen, I got about 80 days worth of content for you. Okay, just understand. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. So if you go back to my IG since 2021 till now, you will see it. On my YouTube channel, I started in 2022. You will see it. I'm on there. So my Facebook page, even though I had to start a new one, I'm up to 5. I got to get rid of some friends now because this new page is popping. My old one, I thought was popping, but I had to rebuild this one. It say I only been on Facebook since 2021 when I've been on there since 2008. So, it's been a journey. So many times I've had to start over. So I'm here everywhere you need me to be. Just understand, just watch out for me. I'm going to be in a lot of great places and spaces, starting with this WIN community, being on stages and places and on screens. I say for my daughter, but I'm saying it for me. Places, spaces, and on screens I never thought I'd be on. So next week I'm going to be doing a special. I'm talking on the what is it? The Black. It's Black Network. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. But I'm speaking on that next week. I'm gonna be posting about that too. So join the workshop on Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to give you the gems, the diamonds, the rubies, the emeralds, darling. All of that you need in order for you to build that financial house. But you gotta have your foundation. So tap in with me. And that's why I say on my IG, do you have your tickets yet? Get your tickets. Yes, it's complimentary for WIN members. So become a WIN member then, people. Or, it's a small donation. So definitely tap in the link. I'll have it in my story on my in my Facebook and my IG, so you can get the link right there, or you can tap it. You posted it in here in the StreamYard. So definitely tap in with us. It's gonna be phenomenal.
I love that. As we get out of here, y'all, do what Toria said and make sure you follow her on all her channels, because you can definitely see where the algorithm picks her up. I have Googled Toria. Okay. So she definitely has content forever. Toria, I encourage you to keep reposting that content. There's some things that we do in our times when we're growing. Like Toria, I'm so proud of you for just, like I said, betting on yourself and allowing us in the WIN community to support you in your growth, because it allows us to see what we can do as a community. As a nonprofit organization, we want to make sure that grows, the mission grows so immensely that we can reach women around the world. And your story is like one of the best. Like we have other people, like we have Nisa and we have Karan, who is a 2-time best-selling author. Like we have a lot of great stories here, but I want you guys to get to know more about Toria at the workshop. It's our first workshop this year for WIN. Toria is bringing us in hot, okay? And we're going to really start honing in on our money principles and making sure that you actually ask the right questions. Toria, you're a wonderful encourager and guide. And because we know you in community, this will be an opportunity for you guys to really be transparent and be in a safe space where you can share some of those challenges that you're having, like Toria just did, and get some of the results that you need. Is there anything else that you want to leave us with, Toria? Any final words of encouragement before we get out of here?
As Myron Golden has said, there is no victory without opposition. And sometimes the opposition is you. That last part came from me though. But you have to understand, in order, especially athletes out there, you know how it is. How you gonna win without nobody playing against you? And sometimes we playing against ourselves, and we got to get out of our own way in order for us to have the things that God has purposed for us to have. So that's what I would say.
That's a beautiful way to take us out. Thank you for sharing your story, Toria. I'm amazed at what God is doing in your life, and I'm so excited to be a part of your journey. Y'all, right? Y'all, listen, y'all stay a part of the journey as well. You never know what's going to pop off, and you never know how you can benefit from having the connections with individuals like Toria, who's expanding. Toria has connected me, y'all, with people right now that I'm now able to plan for real estate ventures 5 to 7 years from now, right? I'm already planning that now because of Toria's support. So don't miss out on being able to get this direct advice from her. All right, Toria, have a great night. Thank you so much for your time, Queen. And we will see y'all in the next live stream. Y'all make sure y'all connect to WIN.
Have a good night.